Do you want to know how to do cute Ganyu cosplay makeup like this? Well then this is the tutorial for you. Hello there and welcome to my makeup tutorial for my Ganyu cosplay. So as you can see, I've already put in my purple colored contacts and I put my hair back with a wig net so it doesn't get in the way of doing my makeup. The first step in any makeup process that I do is going to be primer, and I'm actually just going to use a face moisturizer. This just helps the makeup stick to your face, so I'm just going to apply some of that and rub it into my face. Next, I'm gonna take some concealer and just apply it over any dark spots, discoloration, or any red spots on my face. Once I've applied my concealer, I'm gonna take a damp sponge and I'm just gonna start to blend out that concealer until it's all nice and incorporated into the face. I also apply concealer on my under eyes, and this just kind of brightens up my under eyes and helps it fit in with the face. And then again blend it out just using a sponge. Next I apply my foundation, so I just take a brush and just start to add on little blobs of foundation around my face, and then I'm going to blend it out with the same damp sponge. Once I've applied my foundation, I then like to set my face using a translucent powder and a triangular powder puff. So I just get some of that on there and just kind of set all over my face. And I'm just going to let this powder sit for 5 or so minutes before I brush it off. Okay, so I've waited around 5 minutes and now I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and brush off the excess setting powder. Now we can move on to contour, so I like to just use a cool toned bronzer and an angular fluffy brush. We're going to start out with my jaw, so just dip that in there and just kind of brush along where my natural jawline is and just kind of buff that out. We're going to do the same method for my cheekbones. Just take some powder, pat it onto where my cheekbones are, and just kind of in circular motions blend it out. For my nose contour, I actually like to use a darker shade, so I'm going to actually use some eyeshadow, this brownish grey shade here. And I'm going to take a very thin angled brush and make kind of a exclamation point type of shape. So now I've made the vague kind of shape that I want to achieve with my nose contour, so taking the same small angular brush, I'm just going to start to blend that contour out so it doesn't look as harsh. I've blended out the rest of my nose contour, so now I'm going to set my face again, but in specific places against the contour. So I'm just going to take the same translucent powder and the same powder puff and just go underneath the cheekbones, on the sides of the nose, and in the middle, and a little bit under my eyes. Now that I've put on my setting powder, while I wait for that, I'm going to do my eyebrows, but because I want to do them a color, I'm going to put on some concealer first so that my eyebrows are a little bit lighter so it's easier to put on the color. For my eyebrows, I'm going to take this dark blue here and another small angular brush, and I'm just going to dip my brush into the blue, tap off some of the excess powder, and then just start applying the color to my brow. Once I've gotten the color that I wanted, I'm just gonna blend out the front of the brows so that they look a bit more natural. And then the last step for my brows is that I just like to carve them out with a little bit of concealer to just make them a little bit sharper. Now that my brows are finished, I'm gonna wipe off the excess setting powder from before, and then we can move on to blush. For blush, I just take a little fluffy brush, dip it in the palette, and just dot it along my cheekbone and a bit under my eyes. And I also like to put a bit on the tip of my nose sometimes. The last step on my base is highlighter, so I just take some on my finger or a little brush and apply it up on my cheekbones, some on my nose, and a little bit in the corners of my eyes as well. Now that my base is complete, I'm going to move on to my eyeshadow. So I'm going to take this bright blue shade, and using a little circular brush, I'm just going to dip it in here and just start to map out the shape of where I want my eyeshadow to be. Now that I've mapped out the shape of my eyeshadow, I'm gonna take the same brush and just using small circular motions, just start to blend out the eyeshadow. Now that I blended out my base eyeshadow, I'm gonna start layering it by adding some deeper colors. So I'm gonna take this darker blue and I'm just gonna add it in the corners of my eye and blend that out. My eyeshadow is now blended out, so I'm gonna cut my crease using some white face paint. You can also use concealer, but for this look I want quite a bright cut crease. So I'm just gonna take it on this little flat brush and I'm carefully gonna go in the little inner corner of my eye and just gently pat that in. So to finish off my cut crease, I'm gonna take some white shimmer and just pack it into the cut crease, little white part there. And I'm gonna add some glitter on top as well. And this is a close-up of what my eyeshadow looks like now. My eyeshadow is now done, so I'm gonna move on to eyeliner, and I just do a pretty standard wing. Yeah. Next, I like to take a little bit of mascara and just coat my bottom lashes, and then I'm gonna use my fingernails to stick them together into little triangles. While I'm waiting for the glue on my lashes to dry, I'm gonna do a little bit on my lips. So I'm gonna take a nude lip liner and just kind of softly overline my bottom and top lips a little bit. I don't really want any harsh lines from my lipstick though, so I'm gonna take my finger and just kind of blend out the lip liner. I want to do a bit of a gradient lip, so I'm gonna take this reddy brown sort of color on my finger and I'm just gonna put it in the center of my lip and just kind of blend it outwards. The last step for my lips is that I'm gonna use this lip gloss and I'm just gonna go over all the powder. The last step in my makeup process is going to be applying my lashes. So I already applied one off camera, but I'm gonna show you how I apply my other one. So first I applied some lash glue and I let it get tacky so that it'll stick better. And you also want to bend it a little bit so that it better fits your eye shape rather than just a straight line. Now I'm going to look in my mirror carefully and I just want to place the lash in a good spot. And a good way to get the lash to stick is to press it together carefully with your real eyelashes. Just press it in, pinch them together with your nail. And yeah, now my makeup process is done. So this is what my makeup looks complete with no filters or anything. I'm gonna go put on the rest of my costume and my wig, and I'll come back and show you how it looks with the completed product. This is how the makeup looks with the full cosplay and wig on. So yeah, thanks for watching my tutorial. Bye!